Call this meeting of the Smith County Emergency Services District to order at 7 p.m. Note that there is a quorum present, one commissioner absent, which is Commissioner McKeithen, who had a conflict tonight and couldn't be here, but we do have a quorum present. And at this time, I will ask Commissioner Domney if he'd lead us in prayer and pledges.
An opportunity to be with family and friends and share those special times with each other, but to also reflect on all those things that you've given to us and how blessed we truly are. And thank you, Lord, for all those things that you provide to us, that you keep us safe, you keep us healthy, and you keep us in plenty. Lord, we pray that you would be with those that aren't able to be with us tonight, those families that may be in need, losses that have occurred over the period, both within our organization and for our own personal lives. Lord, be with us, give us strength. Pray that everything that we do tonight would be pleasing unto you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right. I don't think we have any guests out of the ordinary here tonight that I can see, so that haven't been here before. We have any public comment forms?
I have not received any.
Okay, since we don't have any, we will dispense with that. And at this time, we're going to skip down the agenda. We're going to skip over the consent agenda. We're going to skip item 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and we'll come back and pick those up later. And we're going to move right into the chiefs presenting their reports. So, Art.
We really don't have anything coming up except for I need to get with Ray about this grant we got and figure out exactly how we're going to do our PPE. But other than that, everything's pretty much steady. We did catch that grant, and that's one thing I failed to tell y'all last time, but I'm just waiting on Ray.
Forest Service grant for PPE?
Forest Service.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Chief Arnold, I'd like to ask you about, we talk about one-person calls, and I've stated in the past that, the focus of the one-person calls is not about some of the medical costs and all, but I notice this time that we do have some of them that are structure fires, major vehicle accidents, and wildlands that we had one-person responses to. Are you familiar with those? Do you know what kind of happened on those?
I know there was once that I went on a wildland fire by myself during that windstorm that came through. Mm-hmm. But the crew did catch up with me, so that shouldn't have went down as a one-person response unless somebody didn't put anything down right. And really the medical emergency, that was while they were out on another call with another district. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I shouldn't have had anything unless we were responding to another department with one personnel.
Yeah, there was one that you were assisting fire? Dixie on a wildland. That was a one person. So
Dixie?
That's what it said.
That's okay.
That's whenever somebody picked up the side-by-side and took it out.
Okay. All right. Good thing I got Mr. Jones here tonight.
Yeah.
He's one of my lieutenants.
Yeah, I guess the structure fire was one that really initially caught my attention. That you have a structure fire that is noted as one person.
I don't recall anything like that happening. I'll have to go back and research that because we shouldn't have had any one-person responses unless the crew was already out of
Yeah,
pocket.
I can't recall the exact number, 6 to 8 or something other. I mean, for a long time, these have been coming down. Then all of a sudden, this particular period, they've all jumped back up quite
Okay.
significantly. So, and just those things stuck out to me as unordinary.
I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna have my lieutenants pull any one person responses, and we're gonna try to figure out what's going on.
Okay, appreciate
Because we
it.
haven't been digging into them, because we haven't been having that many.
Right.
And I generally knew what they were, but this time I'm at a loss. I was off this weekend, and we had inventory today, and I came straight up here. I just stopped and got a truck.
You just happen to be the lucky guy that gets up there first every time. So,
I
I mean,
know,
there's, and it's not,
And then he pulls us up here early too.
and
Yeah.
but it's not unique to your district. I mean, like I say, I've noted it across pretty well all the districts that there's been a jump in one-person calls in this period.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that, 'cause
Okay.
I'm at a loss on that.
So, and this question is not specific to you, but it is something that I noticed throughout all the reports, is that you look at the number of instances that you have, and I used the word wrong, it's not instance, it's, the calls that you went out on, I can't remember exactly how it's classified. But, and you look at the number of responders that you have with your personnel, I mean, there's never enough people responding to equal the number of incidents that you have in the period. So if y'all would take a look at that, because either you're not able to record all the people that are responding. I mean, that's assuming that all of them were one-person calls. You don't have enough, there's not enough people within your organization showing responding to the number of calls that you have. So there's something wrong with the information there, is my point. And like I said, it goes across each one of your districts.
Right.
You know, some are a little bit more pronounced than the others.
During that windstorm also, we had to send a tank truck to Chapel Hill, one-man unit, to assist on structure fire.
Okay. So
Okay.
that was it,
That
structure,
explains that.
tanker on the structure, right?
Okay,
Fair enough.
just carried
I'm
water.
sure there, like I said, I'm sure there was explanations, just, it was unusual.
We were tied up on all the grass fires, and we had a couple volunteers that sent one of our paid staff up with the
Yeah,
tank truck.
okay, good, thank you.
Bullard?
Good evening, everybody. In Bullard, for October, we had 67 incidences and 40 events total as far as the fire safety, so pretty bowed up. My roster's at 20 personnel. I had 8 one-person responses, 0 missing reports, and 510 man-hours in that time. And I can account for my one-persons too if necessary.
Yeah, the only one that really stood out to me is you had a MVA major that showed us a one person.
Yes, sir. That was one of my guys went and canceled the rest of us before we got en route. He was right there by it.
Okay. Yeah, the medical assist and everything, I really know what those are. It's just
Yes,
that
sir.
one major.
Sure. All right. Thank you.
So no injuries on the accident or what?
No, sir. A lady hit a deer, and the deer was quite injured.
One
but
fatality.
She was all right.
Okay, all right, good. All right. Chapel Hill?
Okay, ours, I just got a report, shows one-man response, and I guess the only one that was NVA, but that was at 8:30 in the morning. Usually our employees from the ESD should be handling that. I don't always monitor radio to see if there's one man there or 2 men there at that time. So they should have, I don't know what, I'll have to look back into to find out why there was just the 1 man.
Yeah, I didn't have any questions on yours.
Okay.
All right,
But other than that, we have done a lot with this last month of fire safety. For our events, we've been doing quite a few of those. And then, say this month, I got my banquet coming up, and then in February, we got our chili supper, getting ready for that too as well. The only one other thing I like, just to look into is the batteries for our radios. I have been watching them and keeping them charged in my station, and they're only charging halfway. They're not charging full batteries. and I'm not sure, I thought, is that a reconditioned set or not?
There's a incident that's posted to the support portal, and we also sent out an email on that. There's a firmware issue with the radios, and we're going to work to update the firmware. The batteries are charging to 100%. They're just showing incorrectly in the radio.
On the radio, oh, okay. That's what I was wondering, okay. That's all I need to know on that. Other than that, that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Dixie?
Everything's going good. Reports seem to be okay. Thanksgiving went good. Hope all of y'all's did. Got any questions on reports?
Just want to, again, please go back and look at the number of incidents. You show it 67, and I think I looked at you, and you might have had 40 as far assigned to personnel.
Right.
So there's a pretty big disparity in between. Just need to understand what the difference is, what the data's telling us.
Okay.
Are we not accounting for them all the way, or just what's happening?
Right. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Flint Gresham?
Well, everything went fairly smooth this month for us. We didn't have anything crazy or wild, other than the windstorm, but that was crazy and wild for everybody. That was a lot of my one-man responses. The only other thing is we helped, and I know almost everybody in this room helped with the EMS first responder that got killed. We escorted. We got the flag up on the interstate for them, so pretty much that's it. Oh, we got a TAC 2 back today.
All right.
It's only been a year. Yay. So anyway, that's it.
All right. Thank you. Jackson Heights?
We've pretty much been just trying to make it through. Everything's been going fairly decent. Everything was medical assist on there except one minor MVA for us, and I actually worked it with Martin Roach. He was coming by for work as well, and I told all my guys we can disregard because it was a side swipe. So that's the story on that MVA. The rest of them were agency assisted medical calls. So
I thought I saw 3 wildlands on yours as well, one
report I
person's.
maybe I
Can you
didn't-
scroll down a little bit, Larry, or page 2? Okay.
No, I looked it up.
I'm sorry, but yeah, if you would just go back and look at it to see.
You said
No,
that was
okay.
Wildland one man or
No,
something?
no, you don't have any wildlands. Okay, so it must,
Yeah.
I got my note off on the wrong place then.
Yeah.
I think that may be Chief Harper.
So unless you have any other
Okay.
questions for me, that's.
Sorry, thank you.
Uh-huh. All right. So, Jackson Heights. Ridge Springs, noonday, I'm sorry.
Well, I didn't do my homework before I came up here tonight, so I'm not sure why we have the four-man or one-man response. I'll have to look into it. Since y'all kind of threw us a curveball and having us speak, I was hoping there was a couple questions I had that if I could ask, I was hoping that I could cross off my list here. First off, I want to thank Larry and Brent for providing their assistance on our banquet at the church. We couldn't have done it without their audio. Appreciate that. One of the things, we sent a work order on 9/28 for maintenance. Our tarp on our engine is coming loose, and like I said, on 9/28, we still haven't gotten a response on that. At some point, are we ever going to agree on an organizational chart for this organization? It seems like it just, every month. You know, being on the long-range committee, we can't, it's hard for us to do anything, and we've kind of lost hope when we can't agree on organizational chart, we can't agree on apparatus. I mean, we've got folks that have left back in January, February. Have we replaced them yet? Why? I don't understand. I mean, it's very frustrating. I don't see why it's taken so long. Have we gotten an update on the boat? I asked 2 months ago, you know, what's the plan? Are Noonday and Bullard going to be in the boat business? Just Bullard, just Noonday? It doesn't matter. We just need some direction. I've asked a couple months ago, and we've gotten, WRL came out and looked at possibly remodeling Noonday Station. We formed a committee, a facilities committee. I haven't heard anything, or have they even been out to look at any of the facilities? On a positive note, we had a business owner that provided Thanksgiving dinner for the staff at Noonday and their spouses, and we invited Flint and their spouses over. So we were able to have Thanksgiving dinner with the guys on Thanksgiving Day. Like Chief Stone said, we did have the funeral procession, good turnout. However, today during the funeral, only departments that were there was Noonday, Flint, Tyler, and Longview. We didn't have any ESD representative there. So that was kind of embarrassing. But that's all I have.
Okay. Red Springs?
October was a good month. Our reports are going to be really skewed because we provide more mutual aid than we do actual services in our own district, other than a lot of medicals. And that's going to be a big disparity. We get canceled a lot, which is, for them, is a good thing for us, more work on them. But it really makes our numbers kind of really offset. And then the blocker and the plow equals a lot of one-man responses for us. But other than that, this Sunday the 5th, we are having our Christmas dinner a little early. Doug Hanning is bringing the American Red Cross over there, and we're going to have a joint Christmas party. Any of y'all board members that want to come are invited. It's at 3 o'clock Sunday. Other than that, that's all I got.
Troop?
Well, October went pretty good. Our one-man responses were mostly medical calls. We had a GSAR 2 class down there at Troop, and we had Bullard and Chapel Hill and a few others that joined in on that, so we had a good turnout, real good turnout for that. That's just last weekend? Weekend before last. Yeah, weekend before Thanksgiving. And basically, that's pretty much it. I would also like to thank Sherry publicly for her promptness in getting back to us on different things. Whenever we ask her a question, it comes back to us right away. And that means a lot to us.
Thank you. All right.
Any questions for me?
That GSAR class, is that all y'all gonna need? Or y'all have to take some more, or what?
No,
So you get your,
you can take another one on up the ladder, which is strictly just gonna be for interior stuff.
so this is enough to get your
This is
team
enough
put
to get
together?
us where we need to be for that part of it.
Okay, all right.
And we've
pretty much, we got that grass truck grant, and, I'm getting finals on it right now. So I ought to have that hopefully by next meeting. Other than that, that's all I know of right now.
Okay, thank you. White House?
Down at White House, our biggest thing that we've been having going on, we've been getting the last 2 months, we've gotten hit pretty heavy with a lot of our people getting quarantined with COVID. Hopefully we're hitting to the end of that. It's been heavy on us. It's about all I can say on going on with it. Any questions? We are working, let me also let you know, we have been working, Dale Peterson finally got caught up enough where he could go down and look. We was waiting to let him look at our sign that we hadn't get blowed over from the windstorms. He got with JD a minute ago and got with myself. The 3 of us are gonna get together to see about getting something done, and the sign took care of and straightened out there.
Just will mention again that, you had like 20, one person, 2 of them were a couple of wildlands, so if you don't mind, just look at them and see if there's anything extraordinary that's happening. So I'm not focused on the fact that they're one person calls, because I know those happen, but whenever all of a sudden they've just elevated, and then, there used to be just the medical assist and some other stuff, but, there's several of them that have turned into actual reported as structure fire wildfires also. Is there anything indicated in there that we need to address? Is the reason I bring it up. It's not that I focus on one person calls, okay?
Like I say, the biggest thing with us was getting hit in the last 2 months with the COVID quarantine. We got hit heavy with that. We had one fire alarm that he turned out when he got on the scene. It was a structure fire. And of all places, it could be the worst nightmare we got, Summit Oak. Luckily enough, it was in their box warehouse. If it had been in their main warehouse, south side of Tyler had been gone. Okay? Because, the people that don't know about Summit Oil, will make you aware with Summit Oil. Us, Chapel Hill, Flint, and the city of Tyler. The city of Tyler, we keep saying all the time with Summit Oil, the city, if it ever does catch it on fire, we're calling the city of Tyler, because as soon as we get our flats changed on our trucks, we'll be there. And we'll stop about Tractor Supply and spray water that direction. Because what Summit Oil is, they are an oil company that does the blending of your oils, your 10W40s, your 10W30s, all that. And in their warehouse, they hadn't had one for us in about 6 years now. I've been on 2 of them where I took a 40-hour course with their guys that fight fires in their building just to have an idea what to do. Their warehouse, I don't remember how many. Larry, you remember how many square feet? It's good 15,000, 20,000 square feet warehouse. That they've got 55-gallon barrels after 55-gallon barrel drums of oil just stacked up. And like I say, if it ever goes up, it's your worst nightmare. Okay, and the other day, it was a fire alarm call. It was early in the morning, before work, like 6 and 6:30 when they got on the scene. It was a structure fire. I left work myself and got another truck fixing to start that way, and then we had a MVA right along with it. Luckily enough, it got changed to a box call and got the other departments there. So I headed toward the MVA.
So are you currently in a situation now where you have enough personnel that are out due to COVID that you're running short-staffed and actually having to run one-person calls?
We are, yeah. And we're getting down toward the end of that right now. We really are. Our latest one just got released, Larry, Wednesday or Thursday, right before Thanksgiving. So, yeah, we're starting to get to the end of it. Hopefully, we'll get down and it'll be said and gone. But then again, you know, if you listen to the news today, you got another variant of COVID coming in.
What's gonna happen when it moves to the next station or somewhere else, so.
Right,
and-
exactly.
And this is the type of information that I've been trying to pick out of these reports, is where these type of things happen and how can we address it. We can't fix what's happened to you in the past, but we can certainly start looking at how can we anticipate it in the future. And what do we do? How can we address it? Whether it be support through other stations or other volunteers, or how we're gonna do it. I don't have the answer for it, but, you know, this gives us the data which we need to be looking at to say, how do we start addressing the shortfalls? Good, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Gene. Winona? He's out? Okay. All right then. Let's go ahead and get the training division report out of the way.
Okay, this month, the training division, we were pretty busy. Started off the month with the battalion chief orientation and the ride-along program. That is completed now. The new battalion twos are stationed at Red Springs Station 2 at the moment. They set them up a room there. Training for our career staff this month consisted of the saws and jaws training. Went around to each station. I believe that is complete at this moment. Our COVID testing, the viral exposure mapping is continuing, but it is reduced significantly. We haven't had that many personnel out on COVID at this time. Additional wildfire refresher courses were offered this month, along with ropes, knots, and initial attack for our volunteer staff, our volunteer staffing. Training committee met. This was Chief Clanton, myself, at the time, and volunteer training coordinators met and developed a training calendar for the year to meet the needs of the volunteers, and had some discussion with them that night. Had all but, I believe, 3 departments in attendance at that meeting. The application process to fill the vacancies is going along nicely. Tomorrow morning will be the last PAT. We had about 80 applicants that have applied, and I think we've got about 40 left to do the physical agility on in the morning. Interviews are pending. That should be coming. We've got it tentatively scheduled or set for the week of December the 13th. The written exam will be next week, the 6th and 7th. That'll be remotely administered, and they can take it just about anywhere they have reliable internet. The new training captains were appointed this month. That was, we appointed Jesse Adams, who was filling in as an interim, and then Tully Davidson, who was a driver for ARP on B shift, is the new C shift training captain. You can see there on the bottom we had 27 events, 81 hours of direct delivery, 10 hours of program development, and then we had 620 online hours. That's the training our paid staff does during the day for either medical CEs or their fire CEs outside of what we present as the training division. Number of career interactions was 100 plus, with 75 plus volunteer interactions this month, and for a total of 175 plus membership interactions this month.
What's included in those interactions?
That's when we go out to do training. When we go out, or if we go to a station and help with a drill, something of that, we count those as an interaction.
Okay. So you got a disparity in between the career members and volunteer members. Is that due to attendance or timing, or what drives that number?
Well, on the volunteer membership interactions, we really only get to interact with them at the training events that we host for them. And you may go to one and have 20 people at it. And you may go to the next one and only have 2. So our membership on the volunteer side to our training events varies greatly. And where our career staff, we go to them every shift, somebody's making a contact with them and seeing them every tour.
Yeah. So the challenge you have in front of you then is how do you get the participation of the volunteer staff up?
Yes, sir. Right. And if you've got the answer to that, we could patent that and make a fortune.
You know, I don't have all the answers, unfortunately. So.
But yes, that was one thing we did address in the training committee meeting, was the best way to deliver and get these guys in contact with the training.
Yeah, timing of events and such. Yeah. Okay.
the online delivery hours, you're only tracking that for career guys?
We track, the only ones currently that are on the online portion are going to be our people that have medical certifications, because ETMC pays for that, or not ETMC, I'm sorry, UT Health is the one paying for that, and they only pay for our guys that have medical training. So that's our career staff and the volunteers that, like Chief Harper, Chief Peterson, who have medical
So that's
certs.
including that 620 hours? Okay.
Any
That's why-
hours that they've
That's why I wanted
conducted.
to know if it was everybody. Okay. All right. All right. Sounds good. Well, we'll move right on down here to, financial report. Mr. Bill?
Did y'all want me to go ahead and go over the supplemental information that I provided to y'all, or?
I think we need to go back to the top and
Yeah, we'll go back to the top, and then we'll come back to that, that's right, we need to do that, so. All right, we'll go back up here and start all over again. Okay, so, all right, item number 5 now will be the consent agenda. Receive, discuss, and take any necessary action relating to the following reports. 5.1, approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting October 25th, 2021.
I've read through those and have signed and approved. I make the motion that we adopt the meeting minutes as signed and approved.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Domney, a second by Commissioner Biggers, that we approve the minutes of the Board of Commissioners on October 25th, 2021 as written. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nay. Motion carries. 5.2, financial report. Now, Mr. Bill.
Commissioners, I provided y'all with a supplemental report titled Smith County ESD Summary Analysis of Financial Statements and Tax Report. This is the beginning of the new fiscal year, so we only have 1 month of activity. So there's not a whole lot to discuss. I just would like to go over the total revenues that we received for the month of October, which were approximately a little over $1 million. Out of that, the sales tax dollars made up most of that. Property tax made up $45,000 of that income. Also, just to kind of give you a little bit more supplemental information on our property tax collections are beginning to come in for November. We had about $455,000 so far for November. So we are beginning to see that cash flow to come in on our regular operating for our regular operating expenses. To get back to the expenditures in this report, we had approximately $787,000 in expenditures. I gave you a little bit of information about what makes up the majority of those expenses. $285,000 makes up is administrative payroll and benefits. Insurance, we paid our property insurance up front, so we have a cost of $250,000 for that. IT equipment and supplies, Larry has a number of projects that are going on right now, so we had $63,000 of expenditures in that line item. Overall, our revenues exceeded our expenditures by $264,000, which is a good way to start the year. I have also provided y'all the sales tax information in this handout. It shows in the yellow, it shows the revenue that we received in October, which I just discussed. The items in orange are what we received for November, which was approximately $1.3 million. I know that's a lot of information. Does anyone have any questions for me, or? Other than that, we're working on the annual audit and trying to get the year end closed, and just got a lot of things going on right now.
Okay. All right. Do I hear a motion on approval of the financials? Have a motion by Commissioner Biggers and a second by Commissioner Wilson that we approve the financials as submitted. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right. Item number 6, discuss and consider and take any necessary action related to payment of accounts, bills, invoices, payroll requests for reimbursement, requests for other payments, transfer of funds, and amendments. I looked over those and I don't think I saw anything that was out of the ordinary. Did anybody else?
The only one that I noted is under the Southern Tire Mart. Chapel engine number 1 tires were replaced for $2,100, so it's a post-expenditure approval request. And I know that Mike's not here, so we'll have to address that with Mike to see what the circumstances were.
Yeah.
Dale, do you happen to know what these were bought under an emergency, but
Yeah, we had one of them, basically went flat. I don't know, it's on the inside door, so it damaged it pretty bad. But I'm not sure that any replaced the other ones in the top if they were going down too as well.
so was it a case where you had one bad tire and that needed repair, or we had all bad tires on it, or?
The other one getting wore out, yes, at the same time.
But, okay, so I guess I'm questioning why it was done as on an emergency basis. I mean, if we had tires wearing over time, we recognize that our tires wear over time and they need to be replaced, and we can request approval to have them replaced. But in this case, it looks like all of them were replaced on an emergency basis. So, how do we find ourselves in a situation where we're after the fact?
We just sent, well, it was our day crew had it, they sent it over to Mike, and Mike did it himself.
Right.
Yeah, so I.
Okay.
How old did you enter? 2015. So it's what, 6 years?
Yeah. So, I mean, guys, I'm not saying don't replace the tires whenever their tires are bad. I don't have an issue with that at all. That's not, what I'm challenging is, why was it done on an emergency basis? And it's an expenditure that required approval prior to making the expenditure, and now we're being asked to do it after the fact. So,
David saw it as well, we're tired of that.
What took place was they did have a tire go bad,
mhm.
and the rest of the 4 tires on the rear were at the point of life, and they were coming due within the next month or so to be replaced on those big trucks, on the engines like that. You can't just replace one inside wheel because of the height distance.
Right.
So at that time, being the way it's set up where they have to come get approval for anything over 2,000, to get that done, anytime they replace tires, it's almost gonna be over 2,000.
Yeah, it's not the first time we run into it.
So
Yeah.
it was decided right then and there, they had to get that replaced because all 4 tires on the back to get it back in
Okay,
service.
so, but do we recognize that we have end-of-life
Yes, sir.
tires on them? So if we recognize that we have end-of-life tires on an apparatus, then nothing keeps you from coming and request the approval to replace them now. Doesn't mean you have to do it tomorrow, but you already have pre-approval, right? And that's really, I mean, it's legislated that we should approve and understand on an emergency basis. I'm just saying that we should be looking ahead enough to recognize that we have end-of-life components on our vehicles, on our apparatus, and we should be prepared to go ahead and replace them.
I believe we put it in the budget for them.
Yeah, but that doesn't negate or circumvent the fact that we have to that we should be pre-approving, okay? And that's all I'm saying. I'm sorry, if you want to speak up?
I said, go over and get prior approval for the next set.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, man, it's right, if you got,
Know what you're saying?
it's right, if you got end of life coming up, ask for them now.
Right.
I mean, we do not to exceed, right? If you need to go ahead and get something approved that you got, come in, let's get it pre-approved, and let's just stay compliant. That's all I'm interested in, okay?
All right. All right. All right. Anybody else have any other questions about any of the consent agenda items? Credit cards or any of the other payments?
All right, make the motion to approve all items listed under 6.1.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Dominy, to approve everything listed under 6.1. Second by Commissioner Biggers. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Say nay. Motion carries. 6.2, district credit card payments. Anybody have any questions on those?
Yeah, there's a couple of them that I
Okay.
had challenges under, some of our expenditures we have with Cascade Fire and Equipment and, Waukesha Pierce that actually should be purchase orders that are credit card charges and shouldn't be, we're misusing our credit cards.
Okay.
Credit cards are provided for the convenience for emergency, not for normal purchase items. We should be writing POs for those items.
I agree with that.
And the last one I have under 6.3 is, JD, UBL, do y'all know what the balance is on the radios that we have? We made a substantial payment of $230,000. What's the outstanding balance?
After we make this payment, the principal balance will be $868,794.
So we have normally 3 more payments.
Yeah,
On the quarterly, are they quarterly or annual?
yearly,
We're annual.
annual payments.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
With that, I'll make a motion that we approve 6.2 and 6.3.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Domedy. We approved item 6.2 and 6.3. Have a second?
Take your choice. One of us, we get it same time.
Okay, all right. Second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right. Item number 7. Discuss, consider taking necessary action on adopting the 2022 holiday schedule for Smith County ESD number 2. I think you have that in front of you. You want to speak on it, JD, since you put it together?
Yes, I followed the precedent of years past, and we're following the same, excuse me, we're following the same holiday schedule as Smith County. The only difference is what we put down as Columbus Day, that we've always had down as Columbus Day, they use as an administrative day. The employee gets to choose whatever day they want to take. Well, for easier tracking purposes, we've always put it down as Columbus Day. Everything else mirrors the county exactly. Same thing like I said, we've done in the past. I know that the letterhead, I've got to fix the letterhead on the document you guys have, but other than that, do you have any questions?
In lieu of noting it's Columbus Day, if everybody doesn't take Columbus Day, why don't we just note it as a flex day? That's what we used it for, right?
Correct. Yeah, we can do that if we'd like.
If not, it implies that everybody's going to be off on that day. If
Right.
that's not the case, let's just serve as a flex day.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay. So, do we want to change that to a flex day, or just give them the opportunity to use it as a flex day?
So we ought to document what we're doing.
Yep. So, when we table it then and get it redone, we can approve it, I guess, next board meeting. Can we do that?
Or,
Wanna do that?
I don't see why we can't approve it with noted change.
With noted changes? Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine with me.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the holiday schedule, removing Columbus Day as the recognized day and substituting it with a flex holiday to be at employee's discretion, taking employee's discretion.
Okay. Have a motion, have a motion by Commissioner Domedy to do that with the changes, noting instead of Columbus Day, it'd be a flex day to be taken at the employee's discretion. Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. And I guess also we need to sign that tonight too before we leave.
Let me fix the letterhead before y'all, I'll get it to you to sign.
Yeah.
I'll print it off and everything.
That'll work. Item 8, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on the budgeted firehouse and nozzle replacement project at a cost not to exceed $94,270 from GL code 60930. And, are you gonna speak on that,
Yeah.
Chief?
Yes. Okay, so these are the hose, the fire hose and the nozzles that we budgeted for in this year's budget. Both of these projects are tied together. So for the hose and everything to work correctly, you know, the hose and the nozzles are tied together. One of the reasons we wanted to go ahead and get this on the agenda is there's a 14-week delivery time after we order due to shortage of materials with COVID and just the supply chain issues. It is a budgeted project. This order's under the budgeted amount. This gets each primary engine and a spare for replacement while that hose, like if we use that hose on a fire and they pull it off and have to clean it, there's enough to reload the truck while that's drying. Right now we are recommending and requesting to order the nozzles from Casco for a total of $31,570 and the fire hose from Metro Fire for $62,700, bringing that total to $94,270. Do you have any questions?
So you noted $31,000 from Metro for the nozzles, and the quote that you have here attached is for $35,000.
The nozzles will be from Casco. Let me get to that.
It's the very bottom one, I think, on that,
I'm sorry, I am off one.
yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you're recommending the nozzles from Casco, is that right? For, 31,000?
Yes, they were the low bid on the items.
31,570 for the nozzles,
Yes.
and then, the other one was which one?
It's the hose will be from Metro Fire for $62,700.
All right, have a motion by Commissioner Biggers to approve the hose and nozzle quote for the amount, and second by Commissioner Domney. Any other discussion or questions? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Okay, thank you. Item 9, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on approval of budgeted funds for firefighter and promotional testing to create eligibility list at a cost not to exceed $50,000 from general ledger 51,600 and 62,505. Chief Smith.
Okay, so this is the testing that we budgeted for this year so that we could create our eligibility list for firefighter, driver, and lieutenant. Currently on the firefighter side, we have, as Captain Van Winkle said earlier, we have about 78 applicants. The test for those firefighter tests is $50 each. We currently have, we need to go ahead and test for 2 driver openings that were, budgeted. We need to test for 1 lieutenant opening. Both of these openings were created through attrition, so they've been approved. This same budget category also encompasses all drug testing and all background checks for the paid and volunteer staff. So when we get a new volunteer in and we run a background check or a drug screen, it comes out of this same line. So I'm asking for the budgeted amount in its entirety so that we can continue forward on these things as we need to. And I've spoke with Bill, and we will track that via a spreadsheet. So we'll know what the testing, the actual written testing is going to cost beforehand before we do it. And then as we move forward with background checks and drug screens, simple communication with Sherry, and we'll be able to track it and make sure we do not go over.
Okay. You have any idea what we spent last year for the same thing?
I do not recall. I want to say the firefighter testing, the original testing we did was about 5,000.
Okay, so you're just asking us to approve the entire amount so you can move forward, so you don't have to come back and get approval every time then?
Yes, so the eligibility list they'll be good for a year unless they're exhausted. And so what I'm worried about is that we may exhaust the list sometime in March, and then here I'll be asking for more funding to go ahead and test, when if we do it this way, I can just go ahead and do the next
Go ahead
test.
and get it done. Okay, sounds good. So, and the spreadsheet, you'll bring it to us every meeting, that spend it so we know exactly where we're at.
If that's how you guys would,
Right.
if that's what you want me to do,
Yeah.
I can do it. Okay.
Okay, all right, then whatever, but if somebody asks for it, we'll.
Yeah.
We'll have it.
That's their job, to make sure
Yeah.
they don't
Right.
overcommit.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Make the motion to approve the, not to exceed 50,000 from the general ledger code 51-600-62505.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Domney. I hear a second. Have a second by Commissioner Wilson to approve the amount not to exceed $50,000 from the two general ledger accounts, 51-600 and 62-505. Any other discussion? That does include the volunteer side too, if we need to do something for them too, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so we'll make sure. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Okay. Item 10, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on the budgeted bunker gear dryer project at a total cost not to exceed $3,851.80 from the general ledger code 60910. You want to speak on that one too, Chief?
I got that one too. Okay, so this is to build the 4 gear dryers that we budgeted for. These are built in-house. They're built out of PVC pipe and things that we get here locally. In your book, I have the breakdown of what the material per type of material is. This is on this one. The way we'll track it is before he goes and buys anything, we'll discuss it and make sure we're not over. It's going to be Raymond. Raymond's going to be the one going and getting everything. So we should be able to go ahead and get all 4 that we budgeted for and get this project moving. Do you guys have any questions?
No, okay. All right.
Make a motion to approve the bunker gear.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I share you these numbers, that 3851, you sure you're not going over there?
I've been assured by Captain Murillo that he's not going to go over that. And the numbers he got were the most recent ones he got last week from the different suppliers. I know some of that stuff is up and down every day, but we had a long discussion that this is how much he has, and if we can only do 2, we only do 2.
Well, I don't know about anybody, I would just suggest up to 4,000, 38, well, if it goes over $50, $60, it just, to me, makes sense to go ahead.
What do we have in the budget for that? You know, Bill? That's what they budgeted? Then that's what we'll have to give them.
All right.
Yep. Okay. All right. Do you make a motion, Brent?
Yeah, though, I don't disagree with Mr. Biggers, but
Yeah.
I'll make the motion to approve the cost not to exceed $3,851.80.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Dominic to approve it for $3,851.80 and not to exceed that. And I have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Okay. 11, discuss, consider and taking necessary action on approving Squires Johnson Squires conduct the 2020-2021 audit at an approximate cost of $25,500. Who's going to?
Commissioners, this is for the annual audit for the fiscal year that we just completed as of September the 30th of 2021. The $25,500 is what we budgeted for this item, and what I'm asking to do tonight is to move forward with signing the engagement letter so that we can proceed with the audit for the prior fiscal year. questions.
Any other questions? Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Biggers to approve the $25,500 for the audit of the district for 2020 and 2021. I have a second.
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Domney. Any other discussion? And just so everybody know that it's something we are required to do, so. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Okay, item 12. We already did 12, and we've already done 13. 14, financial report.
Basically, I don't have any other information than what I provided earlier. Like I said, we're
Okay.
just really busy with all of our audits and all of our projects, so.
Okay,
Any other questions for me, or?
no, as long as the money's coming in, and so we can
Thank
pay
you,
our
sir.
bills, that's what counts. So, okay, item 15, Human Resources Officer report. Ms. Sherry?
The EAP is effective December 1st. I do have packets that I put together for the VFD that I'm going to hand out tonight. It has a poster in there, some handouts, and member cards. And then I've also got the same for the paid staff that I'll get with the battalion chiefs this week on to distribute those as well.
Okay.
That's all I had.
That all you got?
That's it.
Well, I just want to say too, I appreciate the job you're doing. A lot of you guys don't know how hard she's worked. She's saved us a lot of headache in the last 2 months, I guarantee you. So we do appreciate it, Sherry.
Thank you.
Appreciate your prompt response anytime I call you or ask you for something, so we appreciate that.
Thank you.
I also like to say, I read the notice that you sent out earlier today about the AP. It's something that's being offered to, everybody out here. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're associated with ESD, then it's available to you. And it is much broader than, what some people may think. It goes across a whole lot of opportunities. So we encourage y'all to take advantage of it. Encourage families to take advantage of it. It's out there for your use. We're paying for it. Utilize it to the fullest extent you possibly can, please, to your benefit.
Okay. All right. Chief Information Officer report. Larry?
I just have a few announcements and just some status updates for you. First thing is, we're still operating at our reduced schedule, Monday through Friday, 8 through 5, until the return of our third staff member. The projects that that you guys have approved prior are ongoing. All of them are on schedule with the exception of one. And that one is delayed due to a supply chain issue, and I want y'all to be aware that could be delayed over 12 months, is what I'm being told at this point. So I'm working with the providers, trying to see if we can source them somewhere else, but it doesn't look like it. So we may end up having to renew the subscriptions that these were replacing for a year. So that would still come in. We'll still be on budget. So these are replacement. These are going to Raspberry Pis from Chromebooks to replace all the dashboards in the stations, which will eliminate the need for us to have a subscription to Google Enterprise. So they're replacing, basically for the cost of what we can renew the subscription for, we can replace the hardware and not have to worry about the subscriptions anymore.
Okay.
But it's something that is still functioning.
Correct.
Still going.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll just have to renew the
Yeah.
subscription.
Yeah.
So the storage server is in. We got it configured today, and the new server is supposed to be in tomorrow. We have received already the FAA clearance for the 400-foot tower at Red Springs Station 2, the fleet maintenance compound. That came in a lot quicker than we anticipated, but we are still waiting on the environmental study to complete. The Chapel Hill Tower is already constructed. We have another supply chain issue there. They're waiting to get some of the anti-climbs and grounding components. So until they've got that complete, we can't install the equipment. So that's what we're waiting on from there. They're hoping that they get that equipment in this week.
Yeah.
So hopefully within the next couple of weeks that that tower will be complete. We can start utilizing it. On the website, we're still missing information from some of the VFDs. So Chiefs, if y'all can get with me, if you haven't yet, let's get that information completed.
Yeah.
Other than that, I believe that's all I have, unless y'all have any questions for me.
The information you're looking for from the district is relatively simple.
It is. It's
Can we fill in
pictures if
details?
they have some, a little bio, a little bio about the department, a little history on the department, what their meeting nights are, that kind of thing.
Guys, if y'all could get that to Larry so we can get it on the website, it helps y'all too, because there may be somebody who wants to come to your meeting that might be wanting to join your department. You know, they just don't know when it is. Get quite a few, so if y'all could help Larry out and get him that information, we'd appreciate it. So, anyway, all right. Item 17, Chief of Operations Report, Chief Smith.
Okay, I've included the information in your book as I normally do. I also added the combined total of the personnel participation summary. So like what the chiefs give you per their individual department, I have the combined version of the entire district in that report, so you can see everything in one. If you don't have any questions on that, I'll give you kind of an update of what I've had going on. I've met with the new dispatch director to meet and greet and also identify any issues maybe on our side or theirs, and to start planning to solve those. It went very well, and I hope to continue to build a strong relationship. Larry and I both met with UT regarding the radio system. We both felt it went pretty well, and we believe we received the answers that we were looking for. The entire organization assisted with the escort of David Eads' body back to Tyler. I know that's been spoken about tonight. I have on the books to have a meeting with Chief Coble of Tyler Fire. He asked me to wait till after the holiday before I reached out again. I want to try to make that a reoccurring event. The Winona Lease, I've had a couple of questions during my review on it. I'm waiting on the answers back from Ken Campbell. I spoke with Winona's board president, and after they reviewed it, they're good with their portion, and he'll get me a signed copy before we go to the next meeting. Just an announcement, in case you guys didn't know, we've moved the captain from being housed at ARP to being housed at White House. This was due to getting him closer to Chief Clanton so that they can coordinate the trainings, and also when asked, Chief Champion said, please bring him. So I think that is a good move to help White House, especially right now, after what he was talking about earlier. Chief Harper, I will have you an answer tomorrow about your hose bed cover. I'll have you an answer tomorrow. As far as the station and the boat, let's try to meet this week and talk about it. The station committee is meeting tomorrow night, and I look forward to continuing the testing process. Thank you guys for allowing us to do that. Do you have any other questions for me?
I don't have any, I don't think. Charles, do you have any questions? Mr. Bigger? Mr. Dominy, you have any questions? Okay, thank you, Chief. All right, this time we'll go to item 18, which is a closed session. The board will convene in closed session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551071, 551072, and 551074. No action shall be taken while the board is in closed session, and any final action, final decision, or final vote shall be taken after the board reconvenes in open session. 18.1 be deliberation concerning appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, responsibilities of individual ESD officers, commissioners, and employees. Government Code 551074, deliberation regarding real property, Government Code 551.072, and consult with attorney and receive legal advice. Contemplated legal matter or settlement offer, Government Code 551071. And we are now adjourning from open meeting at 8:04 and go to closed session. Thank you. open meeting back to order at 9:09 PM. And item number 20 is discuss, consider, and take any necessary action, personnel and employment for ESD2.
The board has created a position of executive administrator, and it's recommendation that we move forward and post that and fill that position as soon as practical. Make the motion that we so adopt the position created and get it posted.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Domney, that, the position, be, for executive administrator be, approved, and a second by Commissioner Commissioner Biggers. Is there any other discussion? If not, all those in favor of creating a position signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right. So, Sherry, if you'll get that posted up on the website tomorrow as soon as possible, that'll be great. Item 21, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on budget renewal annual system maintenance for the 800 megahertz radio system provided by UT Health East Texas EMS out of General Ledger Code 52400. Total requested $94,005.37. Budgeted is $115,000, and they did provide us with the information that we requested. So at this point in time, I'll entertain a motion.
Make motion to approve for $94,005.37.
I have a motion by Commissioner Dominy to approve the $94,005.37. Have a second? Second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right. Item 22. The next meeting will be held on December the 20th, the Monday before Christmas. I know that's the third week, but that's what we're going to do. Like I said, any information that Larry needs from you guys, please give it to him so he can finish up what he's working on. And we appreciate everything y'all are doing, and we're trying our best to get things done that need to be done. We've given Chief Smith the money he needs to get these people tested and hired, so hopefully we'll have that done hopefully by the first of the year. And so, Commissioner Dommy, you have anything to say? Commissioner Biggers?
Appreciate everybody for what you do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Don't think that we don't appreciate you. We really do. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Wilson, you have anything? Got anything to say? No. Okay. All right. Nothing else going on. We are adjourned at 9:13 p.m.